Recently, I've been trying to set up a new home office, something I can escape from my main kind of cluttered PC setup that's ultra minimalistic and something I can just focus on getting some real work done. And I do want to start out with a sit-stand desk because I do like the aspect of having the ability to stand when I get tired of sitting and sit when I get tired of standing. And Flexispot actually reached out to me a couple of weeks ago to test out their new E6 MAX sit-stand desk, as well as the ErgoX office chair. And I was always curious to see what the quality was like in real life since their prices are fairly competitive. Now, first of all, when it comes to assembling the desk itself, it was actually relatively simple and straightforward. I've pretty much assembled a half a dozen already in the past. So you basically start out with a frame, attach the legs that have the built-in motors. You have actually two motors, one for each leg. You mount the feet, screw in at the tabletop with the wood screws, and that's pretty much it. All in all, assembly took under half an hour, and even though I'm fairly experienced, I would imagine that most novices wouldn't really have a hard time putting this together in under 45 minutes. The Ergo chair, on the other hand, is definitely a lot more involved of a process. There's lots of little parts that you have to put together, and it took me about 45 minutes to complete. Now, once done, aesthetically, the design of the frame itself is really ultra minimalistic. There's really no complaints there. I do like the fact that the feet have rounded off corners, so if yourself or somebody else bumps into them, they're not going to hurt themselves, which is always a good thing. There's also a wide variety of color options. We got the white frame on the bamboo top, which is about 55 inches by 28 inches. You also have the options for a black frame and other tops that include a natural maple and mahogany top, as well as plain black and white colors. The quality of the bamboo top is actually pretty nice. It has this kind of satin texture, which is not too glossy and not too dull. And it looks like a pretty durable work surface, although I haven't tried scratching it. But for general purpose use, even if you're using not a mouse pad, it actually slides quite nicely with my MX Master 4. And overall, I'm very impressed by the aesthetics and overall quality of the veneer that's coated on the top itself. Now, the desk also comes with a set of caster feet, so if you want to move the desk around, there are some wheel options to keep it mobile if needed. Now, in terms of the height adjustability, you can go down to about 24.4 inches off the ground, up to about 50 inches. So that should be accommodating for most people on average. Now, in terms of the controller itself, it comes with a 3-digit digital display, as well as 4 programmable buttons, one for your dedicated sit setting, stand setting, as well as 2 other programmable height adjustments, and you get a memory button so you can program those individual height settings. The motors move quite swiftly. You can get pretty much up to the maximum position from the bottom position in just a few seconds. I was also super impressed by how quiet and refined the motors sounded. There's no harsh vibrations, and it's whisper quiet as well. Now, you have 150 kilogram or 352 pound load capacity, which is more than enough for most people's setups, and it handles my little kitty with ease. Now, probably the most interesting part of this desk, for me personally, was the collision avoidance system. It basically has torque sensing capabilities to sense if there's any resistance on the motors themselves, either going up or down, and it will actually stop the motors from going down if it senses an object obstructing it, and actually reverse in the opposite direction. I've actually broken a couple of sit-stand desks with my PC colliding into it or the motors jamming up, and this is a great way to ensure that you don't damage anything around the desk or even damage yourself, because if you're lowering it on your legs, it will actually stop it from going down any further and reverse the direction. There's actually 3 sensitivity settings, low, medium, high, and you can turn the feature off as well. This is pretty much a standard feature that I think all sit-stand desks should come with. As far as cable management goes, there isn't a lot that comes included. You basically have a few of these cable aligners, as well as some ties to tidy up your cable. But I would say that if you're mounting a lot of hardware underneath, you are going to struggle to kind of maintain a neat looking underneath desk, since there's no under tray cable management system that's included in the box. You could definitely fit something aftermarket, but unfortunately, straight out of the box, there's not a lot of great cable management options. Now, Flexispot does give you a 2-year warranty on the frame and the motors themselves, so I'm sure they're pretty dead reliable, but the actual control panel and some of the electronics have a 2-year warranty. Now, lastly, let's talk about the ErgoX office chair that I'm sitting on right now. It's pretty much fully adjustable in most of its parameters. It's made up of 4 main segments in terms of cushions. You have the bottom portion, you have the lumbar, the main back support, and the headrest. In terms of adjustability, on the headrest itself, it's 2-way. You get full tilt and height adjustability. On the back, you can also go up and down. And the lumbar support, you can go forward and backward using this dial that's at the back. And you can also bypass it altogether if you don't want lumbar support. The bottom seat has the ability to go back and forth, kind of like a car seat, so you can slide it back and forth depending upon what position you like. And you also have these armrests that are 2-way adjustable as well. You also have pretty decent tilt capabilities from 90 degrees, as you can see, which you can lock into place. And you can recline up to about 130 degrees. It also has a retractable footrest over here that you can flip out like that, and pretty much be in a semi-lying down position and take a quick little power nap if necessary. The only things that I don't like about the chair is that the height adjustability isn't all that great. It's basically just a few centimeters up and down. And I'm not the biggest fan of some of the chrome accents, but as far as the mesh material goes, super comfortable and super compliant. Hopefully the elasticity of the cushions themselves will last a long time and perhaps be a little bit more durable than foam cushions. But they are very breathable materials, so if you sweat a lot or in a hot environment, it is nice to have some airflow going through the chair. So definitely a fan of the overall ergonomics, and the fit and finish is excellent. Once assembled, there is no creaks, there is no rattles, and no squeaks as well, which is not what I can say for many of the other office chairs I've tested in the past. Now, in terms of the price point, the desk typically goes from $400 to $500 depending on sales, and the chair is sometimes on sale for under $180, but is regularly priced at around $350. We'll have pricing information in the description down below, but in the meantime, I'm really excited to put this setup through a couple of months of work on a regular basis. And I definitely want to thank Flexispot for giving us the opportunity to test out the products. If you have any specific questions, let me know, and check out the description for everything we've talked about. In the meantime, please make sure you like and subscribe and have post notifications turned on, and we'll see you real soon in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.